Hello, hello, Tiffany here. I was having a little technical difficulty, but I am here now, and I would love it if you guys would say hello and let me know that you're here. Hey, Jenny, I can see that you have joined us, and there's Carol Ann. There's Cheryl, hello. Are you guys seeing me? I hope so. I'm trying to answer your questions. Oh, there you are. Hey, Lisa. You should see me now. Will somebody tell me if you can see me now and hear me now? I have had a little bit of difficulty with some techie things today. So, hi, Robin. I see Carol Ann talking about her prep work and working on her first layout. I know that people who watch the video later probably won't be able to see the questions, but I think that the people that are in the video right now can see it. Somebody tell me if it's working, please. Hello, hello, hello. While I'm waiting to hear from you, this is Tiffany from the ScrapGals, and happy International Scrapbooking Day to you. It is a crazy day around my house. I have all the stuff that's going on in the community today, of course, and you all know that I'm not very techy, so there have been a few glitches that I had to work out. And then right after this broadcast, I'm heading up to see my daughter's dance classes that she teaches. They're having their recital this weekend, of course, along with everything else. And then there's the Derby that I'll probably, watch quickly on television. And then it's date night tonight with the fellas. So I have a full day ahead. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll get to scrapbook with you guys. And I'm a little bummed about that, especially with all the great projects. Oh, thank you, Robin. Robin says she can see me. Yay. Yes, Mickey, please just type it in the question and answer panel. It doesn't have to be a question. It can be a comment. Thank you for letting me know that you can see me, Cheryl. Mickey, you are not the only person who isn't sure about how to do the whole Google Hangouts thing. It's not as intuitive as I expected it to be, and I'm definitely working on the learning curve there. All right. Yay, I'm so glad you guys can see and hear now. Yes, Carol pointed out that this is actually a live broadcast, so you can watch it on YouTube or you can watch it in Google Hangouts. It's both places, and I did it that way so that people who maybe weren't able to join in with us could still log in and see what we talked about, and I don't know, maybe be a little bit entertained or something. Let's see, Anne, I can see your comment, yes. Jenny B points out that she's forgotten all of her lessons since Thursday. Well, apparently I did too, because I had a hard time getting logged in just now. It took me about 3 minutes to figure out what step I was missing. So sorry if you were right on the nose and you had to wait for me. Yay, Kate, I'm so glad it's working for you. And Susan, welcome. Let's see. Carol Ann says she can't see or hear me, and her suggestion is to close out and log back in again. I do think that is the best way to approach it. It's a little bit tough sometimes to figure out what you're doing actually inside the application, so maybe logging out is the best thing. Okay, you have a good question. She wants to know if I'm starting Week in the Life with Allie on Monday, and you want some tips from somebody who works. I haven't made a decision about it yet. I hadn't really honestly planned on doing this version of Week in the Life because I still haven't scrapbooked my Week in the Life from 2015. I mean, I did all of the photos and I did all the documenting, but I actually haven't made the album. So I'm like, that's probably not very smart to go ahead and start another album on the same topic when I haven't done the one before. But I'm not counting it out. You guys might inspire me. Carol asked me the same thing. Am I doing Week in the Life? Dang, you guys, there's a lot of peer pressure here. I feel like I should do it because, you know, you guys want to play along, but I just don't know. I just don't know. Oh, Mickey said you've done the Google Hangout where everybody's on together. They limit that to just 10 people, and I figured we'd have more than 10 people join us, so that's why we didn't do it this time. But I think it might be fun in the future to maybe do one of those where 10 of us could get together and talk and actually be able to see each other and stuff. I just, honestly, I didn't know how to like set that all up and have you guys sign up for it ahead of time and all that. And I wanted it to be as inclusive as it could be for today. Kate, I still haven't done my Day in the Life album either. I mean, I did the pictures, and I did all the documenting, and I actually even have those pictures printed, but I haven't started the album. So I bet you're like me, you're like, should I even start with Week in the Life or not? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Carol Ann, thank you for making me feel better about that possible decision. She says she's going to skip Week in the Life because it was pretty stressful. I don't know. I'll have to see. I'm not sure. But I'm glad some of you guys are being able to join in. It looks like there's 17 of us here, so that's good. There's 17 of us, okay. And that means, you know, we have too many for it to have worked with the video for everybody. Although I would much rather prefer that you guys see each other than be looking at me the whole time, I have to say. Carol says that she has an unfinished album and she can't decide if she's going to play along or not. And she's actually on Allie's creative team. So that makes me feel way better about myself. Thank you. And I'm glad you were able to get logged in and see and hear me. Let's see. Robin wants to know if you all have bought anything with all the National Scrapbooking Day sales. Well, I haven't because you guys have been keeping me busy in the community and I need to be saving my pennies for my trip to Europe this summer, but I bet a lot of people have. I bet a lot of people have. I've gotten probably, I don't know, a dozen emails this morning about different companies that are offering particular specials or discounts or whatever, and I've been really tempted, I have to say. Hi, Carrie. Thanks for joining us. I see that you are here. That's wonderful. Oh, that's funny. Carol Ann says she's eating chocolate, so we don't want to be watching her. Well, we might be jealous because I'd like to have a little bit of chocolate right now. So it looks like a lot of you guys are actually going to do Week in the Life, which I think is super fun. You know, Susan mentions that it's going to be interesting because her daughter graduates from college next Sunday. But I think it would be fun to be able to document a big event like that, both in your Week in the Life, maybe some of the details, and then maybe do more of an overview layout for like your regular album. I'm one of those people, I think it's a good idea to document stories in different places and in different sizes and different formats. So I think that that is a viable option there. If you guys checked out Jen Lake's challenge this morning at 10, she actually does this regularly. She does regular layout pages. I think she works in 8x8 primarily. And then she also does Project Life pages using the same pictures and mostly the same stories. So I think that's cool. Carol Chastain suggests that we should do a Google Hangout crop where we can all see and hear each other. You mean like sitting at my desk and you guys could see the giant mess? I don't know about that. 10 of us at a time. It could be fun. I don't know. It could be fun. I'm trying to keep up with the things that you guys are typing over on the right. So I apologize if it feels strange that I'm not looking directly at the camera. It's kind of a juggling act to make sure that I get to all of the messages. Oh, Mickey, thank you for agreeing with me about saving your pennies for a trip. She says she's going to New York in a couple of weeks and she doesn't need to shop these National Scrapbook Day sales. Plus, I spent quite a bit at the Studio Calico warehouse sale a couple of weeks ago. Or is that just a week ago now? That's so crazy. It feels like much longer. But anyway, and yeah, I don't need to let myself buy anything else for sure. So here's a new topic. Kate wanted to know what fun ideas we had about scrapbooking about our pets. She says that she loves her cat and her dog, but she feels silly doing lots of layouts about them. But they're a big part of her life, so she thinks she should. And she asks about Louder Dog. I appreciate that. I don't think you were in the practice session on Thursday, but they wanted to see Louder Dog, and I actually got him up here and put him in front of the camera. He did not care for that very much, actually. But you know that I scrapbook my dogs a lot, and I guess maybe some people get tired of seeing that, and I'm sorry if you don't like to see those kinds of pages, but I figure that even if you don't take the same kinds of photos, you could still look at the way that I've done the layout maybe and find some inspiration there. And that's kind of what I tell myself as far as other people looking at it. And I guess I just assume that all of my friends know that I'm sort of crazy about my dogs and I'm going to scrapbook about them a lot. So I don't think about it that much. I did have a friend of mine at work once call me the crazy dog lady, but you know, he said that with love in his heart, right? That's what I'm going to tell myself anyway. Lisa Spencer mentions that she's trying to come up with an easy approach to Week in the Life because Day in the Life was so crazy, insane, and hectic. I wish I had some tips there for you guys. Now, I did like jot down notes in my phone, and I had a piece of paper, a little pad of paper with me, and I would jot things down, and I did take a bunch of pictures, but I sort of get discouraged during Day in the Life and Week in the Life because I expect my photos to magically look like Allie Edwards photos, and they just don't. I mean, I'm not the photographer that she is. And so that sort of gets me down if I spend too much time thinking about it. And you might remember in a recent podcast, I actually talked about how I don't really go to her blog and look at her stuff while Week in the Life or Day in the Life is actually happening, because then I would get super discouraged about the quality of my photos and probably just give up. So that would probably be the only tip that I'd have to offer there. Susan said that the Studio Calico warehouse sale looked pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. I'm super excited about the possibility of them doing that annually. I talked a little bit with some people who were working it, and I think that would be something great. I'd love to make it kind of like an annual event where a bunch of us get together or something. I like that. Janelle is putting us back on track with International Scrapbooking Day. She says she's only completed one layout so far. I wonder how many layouts the rest of you have completed. I have done 0 because I've been trying to keep up with things in the community and answer questions and all that. I left to go take a shower a couple of hours ago, and I came back and people had asked me like 27 questions, and I felt so guilty that it had taken me a little while to get back to them. So I haven't made any, but I'm really hoping that I can look at all the things that you all create today and maybe make some things tomorrow. I'm excited about that possibility. Lisa mentions that she bought a few cut files from the Silhouette store. I did get an email from them this morning about a big sale, but since you all know I haven't really figured out how to work my Silhouette comfortably, I probably won't be buying anything there. So look at Heather. Oh my gosh, she's completed 2 and 1 duplicate, and then she's working on her next layout. I'm impressed. You are rocking it, and it's just now 12:20 my time. That is amazing. Carol Ann says she's trying to finish a 2-page spread. Carol Ann, you're working at much more my speed. I have figured out that I spend about an hour per layout. I mean, sometimes it's a little bit less, sometimes it's a little bit more, but my average is roughly an hour. And that's something I can live with, you know. Thank you, Jamie. You're making me feel a little better about myself, too. She says she hasn't started any layouts, but she's working on finishing some. And I used to be somebody who never did that, like started a layout and then kind of walked away. But I have 2 or 3 right now that are kind of in process. And they're sort of taunting me from the corner of my desk, you know, like, when are you going to get to me? When are you going to finish me up? You know, I'm over here, I'm waiting. And so maybe that's what I should do tomorrow before I start something new. But what happens if I'm more excited about something new? I don't know. Let's see. Lisa says that she's only done one, and it's 3:20 in the morning on Sunday for her. So you've got to be in Australia or New Zealand, maybe. That is crazy. I'm so impressed that you stayed awake, like, to talk to us. I mean, maybe that's not why you stayed awake, but I'm glad that you stayed awake to talk to us. I think that that's neat. Carrie says that her craft desk needs to be cleared off before she can make something. Mine too. I actually have a challenge coming up at 10 o'clock tonight, and I am so embarrassed to admit I did not do my video and photograph it until late yesterday evening. And you should have seen me like scooting stuff out of the way on my desk in an effort to have a space clear enough that I could do the video and stuff without you all seeing the mess. It was kind of entertaining. So I knew what you meant, Lisa. I knew you meant International Scrapbooking Day. No biggie. Let's see. Doreen wants to know if Crafty Jen's freebie is on her blog or on the ScrapGals Facebook page. That's actually on Jen's blog, so you'll need to click through, and there should be a link to her blog in the post that was there. So hopefully. Let's see. Oh, look at Heather. She's having a good day. She says her supportive husband has sent the children on their various ways and has given her some free time because she's agreed to go to a Wells Fargo golf tournament with him in Charlotte tomorrow. Well, I think that, you know, that's a pretty even trade. I don't think I'd want to go to a golf tournament personally. I mean, we have internet access. Can you like look at your phone while they're hitting those balls or something? I don't know. I don't know. Lisa says that she stayed awake to talk to us and that she's going to bed after this, and then it'll be up for Mother's Day breakfast. You know, I don't think I realized multiple countries celebrate Mother's Day the same weekend. I wasn't aware of that, actually. Let me scroll down a little bit here. Thank you for the vote of confidence, Kate. She was like, you don't have to apologize. You know, you're doing great. This is so totally new to me, and I'm not very comfortable in front of the camera. So that makes it kind of an extra tough hurdle. But I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to stretch and grow and do all those things I talk about. You know how that goes. Let's see. I know some of you all are joining late, and that is totally fine. I'm glad that you're here. Looks like we're hovering between 17 and 20 users at a time, so that's pretty cool. Mickey says that she just completed one layout, and Cheryl completed a layout too. Gosh, you guys, I am so jealous. Something that I'm trying to do, and if you all follow my blog, then you might be aware of this, but I'm going to be in Europe for 6 weeks this summer. I'm taking a group of students for 2 weeks, and then I'm staying behind on my own in Madrid for a month. And one of the things that I'm trying to do is to get my blog all like, you know, in order before I go. So I counted up how many layouts I need to make before I leave. And it is such a huge number. It's both intimidating and laughable. And so I should be doing that instead of like talking to you guys. I should be making layouts. I should be cranking them out. But I think talking to you is more fun. So, oh well. Oh, I like this idea. Carol says that if she does Week in the Life, she's going to consider doing it digitally, which is not how she normally scrapbooks. I don't know if that would be more relaxing or more stressful. That's something to consider, though, maybe for a special project like that, to do a totally different format than you're used to doing. I kind of like that. Lisa says she's got to download Crafty Jen Scow's freebies. You know, I would love somebody to start a thread in our community about all the different freebies that they run into for today, because I'm afraid I'm going to miss one. And that would be really helpful to me. So if any of you all are techie and that you're out on the prowl for all of those great freebies that are out there for International Scrapbooking Day, hook us up. Start a thread. I think that would be great. Heather says that you're excited you get to talk back to me, and that your daughters thought that was pretty cool because we're superstars in your house. Okay, that is hilarious because I'm not a superstar at my house and I just live with dogs. So, but I thought it would be fun. I thought this would be a nice, like, interactive thing. Again, I would like it way better if I could see all of you too, but I'll get there. I'll get there. Susan says that this is a nice and peaceful place today and that she's feeling a little overwhelmed with all the challenges and activities everywhere. I actually struggled with that, Susan, when I was trying to decide how I'd put the day together. I was like, well, should we do something every hour? Should we just do maybe 4 main projects? Should we do something every 2 hours like last year or whatever? And I thought, by doing it every hour, people could check in. But if you'll notice, the giveaways that I'm sponsoring are actually good for anybody who contributes anytime today or tomorrow. I'm giving you all until midnight Central Time tomorrow night in order to get in your entries and stuff. And I thought that way, I know a lot of you all probably had plans today like I do, and maybe you don't have as much going on tomorrow, Mother's Day, or you can choose what you want to do tomorrow since it's Mother's Day. So I'm glad that you feel like the pacing is good. I kind of struggled with that. I was like, is it too much? Is it not enough? But it's good to hear that. Good to hear that. Heather says that she likes the thread idea for freebies, and that sometimes she'll go look at a freebie and then she'll get distracted and forget where she started and lose track. So I do hope somebody does that. Let's see. Doreen, way impressed. She says she's completed 3 layouts so far and that she's working in a 6x8 mini album. A layout is a layout is a layout. It doesn't matter what size it is. So I'm way impressed. Sometimes I think that the smaller pages can be a little bit harder to work with because you are limited in space, and sometimes embellishments are like way too big for where you're working. So I don't think that the smaller size makes it less impressive at all. All right, Luli, you are totally rubbing it in. Hello, hello. She says she just finished her 2015 Week in the Life, so she's ready for this year's. Dang, I feel unproductive. I'm like, okay, so could I do that tomorrow? Could I get my Week in the Life album done tomorrow? No, let's be real. It's not happening. There's no way. Mickey says that she is willing to help organize a Google Hangout crop. Girl, you need to be careful what you're offering because I might take you up on it. Carol Ann told Kate that she shouldn't feel silly about scrapbooking her pets, but that her dogs have turned into teenagers and won't pose for photos. That happens to me too. Louder dog will like turn his face on purpose and be hateful about it because he's like, I just don't have time for this in my life. I need to take a nap. It offends me. It offends me. Let's see what else. I'm trying. I feel like I'm missing some of you all, and I'm sorry for that. Wendy says that she has gotten 2 layouts done since last night. Girl, don't say only 2 layouts. That's amazing that you finished 2 layouts. I think that's great. Lisa, you're funny. Superstars at your house too, huh? No, not quite, not quite. All right, I think Jenny V might have gotten the most done of any of us that are chatting right now. She says she's done 5 layouts since yesterday and that they've mostly been challenges. That is amazing. I am so impressed. And if you love them, especially, I mean, I usually like the things that I make, but I'm not often in love with them. So if you can make 5 layouts that you really, really like in the space of a day and a half, that is super impressive. Heather agrees with me. See, I'm always going to choose people that agree with me. No, she agrees with me about what I said about smaller albums, that she's doing her very first ever mini album and is struggling with the limited space. I don't know if this is something that will help you at this point because I don't know how much you've gotten done. But when I'm working in a mini album, I love to use the 6x6 paper pads because even the cut apart sheets, the prints are smaller. And then on the full-size sheets, the 6x6 pieces of just patterned paper, the prints are markedly smaller too. So that might be something that you could try if you're struggling to like cut down 12x12 paper. And it took me a long time to like realize there was a huge difference there. When I did, it made mini albums so much easier for me. So that's something to think about. Let's see. Doreen, oh my gosh, now she's really making me feel bad. She says she just got back from a 5K run this morning and hopes she didn't miss much. Well, all I have managed to accomplish today is hang out on Facebook and Google Hangouts and take a shower. So you are way ahead of me. Oh, thank you, Carol. She said she really liked my Week in the Life posts and photos last year. I did share that on my blog, and I had fun like documenting it for, you know, the people who look at my blog to see. And I'm glad I have that so that when I do actually go back and make the album, it should be way easy. I mean, I'm hoping that I won't have to even do a whole lot of thinking about it. Luli had a question about Madrid. Yes, ma'am. I am renting an apartment in Madrid, and I'm crazy excited. I've never been there before, so it's super, you know, like risk-taking adventure kind of thing. And I did make sure that this apartment had air conditioning. If you all listened to my podcast from last year when I was in Paris, or you followed my blog, you know that this girl needs air conditioning in the summertime, and I didn't have it last year. Well, this year I have it. So that is a good thing. Let's see. Oh, Mickey, you're hilarious. She said that she rescheduled her daughter's swim lesson until tomorrow so that she could send her on a church field trip today so she could scrapbook. I think that is so smart. That is so smart. All right, Kate has a question about a blog post that I did recently. She was talking about the one that was about my uncle's graduation. I think I called it Graduation 1967. And she liked that it felt fresh and modern, even with vintage photos. So she wanted to talk about that a little bit, using old family photos and modernizing them. Well, I can tell you what I did. You know, I went with October Afternoon as the paper and embellishments, you know, that I chose from, because I think that October Afternoon has that vintage feel, but in kind of a fresh way. And I just decided to pretend, and this will sound kind of funny, I just kind of decided to pretend that they were Instagram photos. They were about the same size as an Instagram photos. They were that square Polaroid that you might, you know, remember from the 60s. You might have seen some like that. And so instead of thinking about them as being vintage, I just decided I was going to look at them as if I were making a page today from 4x4 photos. And that really helped me get past the hurdle of like what's okay to use with these pictures and what's not okay, and how should I arrange them and all of that. I don't love the quality. I don't think that the texture of the photo is that great. You know, it's kind of grainy and they're a little bit dark. But I really liked that I got to tell the story, and that it felt, I don't know, it felt like it fit the patterns and the photos and the arrangement that I chose. So I'm glad that you liked that. I'm glad that you thought that worked out. I have a hard time working with vintage photos, mostly because I don't think they're very good quality. And I'm so spoiled with really crisp digital photos now, like most of us. And so that was kind of a challenge for me, but I enjoyed it. I'd be interested to hear what other people say about how they work with vintage photos. Oh, that's right, Kate. I didn't even think about the fact that Instagram has a built-in vintage photo filter. Yeah, so I guess that makes sense. I'm not smart enough to put that together, but I'm glad it worked. I'm glad it worked. Mickey says that she is going to Scotland in November and was thinking about going to Disneyland Paris. It's pretty cheap. The airfare and the season pass and the hotel for about $500. Let me give you a suggestion on that. You really don't need to fly. If you are willing to like take the train to London and then to take the Channel, the train that goes under the English Channel, it's just about 2 hours maybe from London to Paris, and then you could take the metro really easily out to Disneyland Paris. So that's something to think about. That's something to think about. Mickey also points out that she scans in her digital photos so she can manipulate them and edit them and change them to whatever size that she wants. I wish we're techie like that. I mean, y'all saw that I had some trouble getting our Google Hangouts started. I get so frustrated with technology sometimes that I just like throw my hands up in the air and say, forget it. And, you know, learning how to do some things like where I could manipulate vintage photos would probably make me like them more. I mean, I know I'm not the only person who has a hard time with them. Carol says that she struggles with that too. Let's see, Carol also says she wanted to know when I leave, she's going to try and have lunch with Tracy when she's at her parents', and maybe I'll be there. Well, I haven't been invited yet, but I guess this is my invitation, right? I leave June the 12th. I mean, I don't care to say. I leave June the 12th, and I'm super excited. So we'll have to talk about that. We'll have to message or something and see if we can work it out. Let's see. Mickey agrees. She says she scans in her vintage photos so they're digital. I guess I'm just lazy when it comes to techie things sometimes. Oh well. Doreen has a great question, and this is one that does kind of keep coming up in our community. Will the Scrap Gals ever host a crop weekend? It was mentioned earlier in a podcast, but it didn't come to pass. You know, we did talk about that. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, and it just didn't work out. The timing wasn't right between what was going on with Tracy's schedule and my schedule and the holidays and all this kind of thing. It's something we've discussed. Let's be real, it's a lot of work, you know, and we want it to be something that would be accessible to a lot of people, but we also would want it to be something that is worth the time and effort that we would put into it, you know. So the short answer is we think it could be fun, so maybe. How's that? I do think it could be a lot of fun, but we haven't really tried to nail anything down. And you guys probably have read in the community, Tracy's got a lot of stuff going on in the next few months. She's going to be teaching at that the load, oh shoot, Alice Bowles community. Why can't I? The Scrap Happy community. There you go. She's going to be teaching at the Scrap Happy community, Scrap Happy like event in Texas, I think in June. And then in, I think it's October or November, she's going to do that scrapbook cruise with Crafty Jen's Gal, and she's going to teach at that. So it becomes kind of a thing like, okay, well, when would she be free and when would I be free, and when could we like be together to be able to work out all the logistics and everything. But we know some of you guys are really interested in that, so it's still something that's possible on the table. So let's see. Oh my gosh, Wendy says that she had such high expectations of herself. She was trying to get 10 layouts done this weekend. Okay, well, if you get 10 layouts done, I'll be crazy impressed. I don't think I've ever done 10 layouts in a weekend. Maybe 7, like if I went to a crop or something. I don't know. Thank you, Lisa. You're so sweet. She says she loves my blog and she likes checking in on it every couple of days to catch up, and she likes the mix of things that I post. Thank you so much for saying that. I have struggled a little bit with my blog this year because I'm like, is anybody even looking at it? I mean, am I wasting my time here? But then it feels good to have a place to like share my work and to also share what's going on in my life and that kind of thing. And it becomes kind of a scrapbook in and of itself. You know, I can look back at my blog and I can see, well, this is what was happening a year ago, or this is what was happening a couple of months ago. So it does feel good when somebody takes the time to like leave a comment. I know, Lisa, you do leave comments quite a bit. And when somebody like is willing to say, oh, thank you, I really enjoyed it. It makes it kind of feel like it's worth it, you know, especially because it's a lot of work, but I enjoy it. And my goal this year has been to blog every day. And I think I might have only missed one day this year. I don't know. Don't hold me to that. Don't hold me to that. Let's see, Mickey says that she thinks that we should come to Vegas to have ScrapGals prop because we could get a big conference room and have all the big box stores and other fun things. And I agree that could be really fun, but that could be really, really expensive too, you know, because then we'd have to factor in a bunch of travel costs and all that. So I'm not against it, you know. I'm just we probably would need to do the first one a little closer to home to sort of get our feet wet and understand, you know, all the logistics and that kind of thing. But I can't think of anything more fun than eventually being able to go different places in the country and hosting weekends. I think that would be really awesome. Well, golly, a couple of others of you guys apparently read my blog, and I didn't even know. Janelle says she looks at my blog and liked my December daily project. Well, thank you. And Carol Ann says she reads it on the bus on the way home from work. You leave me messages sometimes, so I knew that you read it. That makes me feel really good. Thank you, thank you. Let's see. Luli says that she thinks that I will absolutely, totally love Madrid, and I can't wait. I'm crazy excited. So I'm glad to hear that you think I'll like it. I've been practicing my Spanish on Duolingo. I've never taken a Spanish class before in my life. And according to it, I'm 48% fluent. But think about it. That means I know 4.8 words out of 10. That may not be very helpful, especially when the words I know are like my green elephant drinks beer. So, yeah, I'm working on it, but I'm not real confident in my Spanish. Let's hope that there are lots of people who are willing to speak a little bit of English with me, or I could be in bad shape. Let's see. Susan reads my blog too. Well, thank you, thank you. That makes me feel so good. Carol, I am so glad that I'm not the only one who's trying not to shop right now, but she says she's saving all of her money for Tuesday mornings that she's going to visit this summer. I'm afraid Tracy has really started something with the Tuesday morning trend. They need to like make her their spokesman or something, because I've had so many people either post in the community or like mention here or had mentioned in conversation or whatever that they go to Tuesday morning now because of her. That's so funny. Let's see. Jenny says that she reads my blog but doesn't always comment. That's okay. And she wanted to know if I'm planning on traveling within Spain. You know, I had originally thought about like going over to Portugal and then maybe down to Morocco and back up around the Straits of Gibraltar and all that sort of thing. And then I decided that after 2 weeks of ripping and running with students, we're going to be in 3 countries and like 8 cities in 14 days, you know, that I would rather be able to have a really slow, relaxing time to enjoy in Madrid. So I'm going to do several day trips. And if you have any, like, you know, suggestions about which day trips I should take, I would love for you to message me or something, because there are so many that I could take. I want to stay within about 3 hours of Madrid, you know, by train. But I'm excited to be able to explore some of the things around the city. Yeah, yeah. Doreen agrees with me that Tracy has introduced so many people to Tuesday morning and maybe needs to be the spokesman. That's so funny. Okay, wait, Carol is talking Spanish to me. Let's see. Yes, something. You can enseñarte. I don't know that word. Via FaceTime or Skype. If you wish, you can join us via FaceTime and Skype. Is that right? FaceTime or Skype? Ooh, you need to tell me. Carol, you have to let me know if I was right on that. I'm working on, I'm pretty good at reading, I think. Less good at listening, for sure. Nikki wants to know if I could travel anywhere, where would you go? Well, I am so lucky. I've been able to travel to so many amazing places, but I would really love to go to Egypt. And I just don't feel really comfortable right now as a Westerner and as a woman. I don't think that maybe traveling to Egypt by myself would be a good move. But maybe, you know, maybe in my lifetime that part of the world will calm down a little bit, and I'll have that opportunity. So yeah, that's kind of on my bucket list. Janelle says she didn't even know that Tuesday morning existed in her city. She's in Toledo, Ohio, until Tracy talked about it and she looked it up. Well, I hope you found some good stuff. Let's see. Oh gosh, Jenny, she's talking Spanish to me too. Yo también. I something, but I don't know what that means. You're going to have to tell me, Jenny. That's not a verb that I've learned yet. I think it's a verb. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe, I hope so. I don't know. We'll have to see. Or I will. Let's see. Ooh, Scrap Streams, I don't know your name, but she says, since you travel a lot, have you ever considered doing a mini album for each locale in the local language? Oh my gosh, that's an amazing idea. But talk about a lot of pressure. I mean, when I speak French or when I speak Spanish, I'm totally murdering the language, and I'm sure the people are like cringing in horror at what I have to say. Can you imagine French or Spanish with a Southern accent? It's going to be hilarious. But that is such a great idea. Maybe if I didn't do a whole album, I could at least do like a layout or a couple of pages about phrases that I used most often, or something. That's super cool. Oh my gosh, Carol says that this is what she said. If I want, I can teach you some Spanish via FaceTime or Skype because she's fluent. Oh, be careful what you offer. This is like in perpetuity now. This is video that will never go away. And I have record of you offering your services. No, I'm joking. Jamie says that she likes to go to Tuesday morning to get dies and embossing folders. They are so much cheaper there, aren't they? I mean, I have bought a few, and let's be real, I don't really use embossing folders or dies, but I keep buying them for some reason. And I haven't used them. That's what I'm saying. I haven't used them, but I do buy them there because they're such a good deal. I also got some of those stencils that you can use like with texture paste, and you know, like the faces of the ladies that I want to say maybe Dina Wakely does, and I think Tim Holtz has some of those too. Those are super cool. So at some point I'm gonna try to figure that out. Oh, okay, Scrap Streams is Dale. I know who you are. We've talked before. Okay. Mickey says that her best friend is going to Egypt next year. You'll have to let me know how that goes and what her experience is like and that kind of thing. That's super cool. Let's see. Carol says she's serious about the Spanish, y'all. She doesn't know what she's getting herself into. I'm apparently not a very good student since I totally got her, you know, her little offer wrong. Let's see. Oh, Diane has a good question. She says, what ideas do we have for our National Scrapbooking Day Scrap Gal freebies? Mine are printed and cut out. She says, I assumed there'd be a challenge associated with them, but maybe not. Well, I never even thought of that. Hello, that would have made perfect sense. In fact, the challenge that I did could have had something to do with it, but I didn't. I just thought it might be fun. I know a lot of you all, you know, are excited about scrapbooking and spending the day doing that. How fun would it be to maybe even make a layout about what you did on National Scrapbooking Day, and then you could cut out some of those printables and include them as decoration on your page. I think that could be really fun. You could also maybe even tag all the layouts you made from today with one of, especially the little circle ones that Amber Page made for us. That would be really cute. You know, like you could tag that particular layout as one that you completed on International Scrapbooking Day. I think that would be really fun too. My hair's kind of crazy. It's driving me nuts. Sorry. But yeah, I think that would be a good idea. I hope you guys use those, you know, and I don't know. I haven't even really thought about how I might use them. That's something to consider. Let's see. Oh, Genevieve says her Spanish statement said I can help you too. Like Carol. Okay, you guys be careful. You don't know what you've done here. Carol Ann, have I come back to you? Have you found me yet? She said that I went away. It's still showing as active and live, and like the little green bars are still up on my screen. So I'm hoping that works on it. Okay. Heather says she reads my blog too, but she reads it through Feedly, so it's a little bit harder to comment. But she loves it, especially the consistency. Thank you so much for saying that. It really does like help to hear that. I know that, you know, I'm not like I'm out of the world seeking validation or whatever, but it does help to say that. Yeah. Judy, hey Judy, I think this is the first time we're talking today. She said that she loves the printables, and she's going to make a scrapbook that's all about her and all about her album and how the Scrap Gals have impacted your life. Oh my gosh, that is so amazing. I hope it's good. I hope it's good, right? But that's so sweet. I think that's awesome. I mean, I think I've done a scrapbook page before, or at least part of a page about like the Big Bang Theory and how much I like it, or, you know, what I'm reading or listening at a particular time. So, you know, if you listen to the Scrap Gals, those would be fun embellishments that you could use, you know, about the podcast, or, you know, how you like to spend your free time. That's cool. That's cool. Let's see. Oh, Jenny V has a good question. She says she's working on a layout and the pictures are blurry. Do folks scrap blurry pictures? Well, you all can weigh in there. You're welcome to do that. Personally, if the story matters enough to me that I want to tell the story, a blurry picture is not going to stop me. And I don't like it when I have blurry pictures, and I try to maybe print them smaller or change them to black and white, or maybe even put like a little transparency piece over them to kind of soften the effect and make it like less obviously a crappy picture. But for me, I want to tell the story, so I'll use the pictures that I have. Now, I know some people are much more critical of the kinds of photos that they use on their pages, and that's totally fine too. But I would rather use a bad picture than not tell the story. So that would be my advice to you there. Well, it looks like we've had a couple more people join us. We've had 26 or 27. I like that. That's cool. Let's see. I'm scrolling down a little bit here. Judy says that she reads my blog. I know you do, Judy. Sometimes you leave me little notes. I appreciate that. And Diane says she likes the idea of tagging your layouts with those little printables that Amber came up with. Isn't she talented? I thought those printables were amazing, and I didn't even ask her to do that. She just offered to do that out of the goodness of her heart. So I appreciate that so much. I really do. It's so nice when there are people who are like willing to help and willing to make the community great, you know, even just because they like being there. So that makes me happy. Let's see. Doreen says she has to leave, that she's having a bunch of fun, but her boys are telling her it's almost 2 and she hasn't fed them lunch yet. Now, what is it those kids have to eat every day? Sometimes more than once. I know. But I won't be able to stay on much longer either because I have a dance recital to go to. So I totally understand. I totally understand. Let's see. Oh, Jenny suggests that I visit Alhambra as one of my day trips. I will be adding that to my list. I think it's about a 2-hour train trip. I'm not 100% on that, but I will be looking to see. Heather says that if we wanted to plant a crop, she thinks that there would be lots of people who'd be willing to help and that we could always delegate. You know, that is kind of tough. It's like you want people to help you, and you want, you know, to use other people's expertise, but you also don't want to take advantage, and you also don't want to, you know, put too much on someone else's plate if they're not, you know, being compensated somehow. But I agree. There are lots of people in the community, I think, that would step up if we wanted to do something. Susan agrees with me about blurry pictures. She says if that's all I've got, I'll use it. That's fine. You know, and I'm somebody, I'll actually use the same picture for more than one layout. Like if I want to tell a story about my mom and I don't have a lot of pictures of my mom, then I'm not going to not tell the story because I don't have a different picture of her. So that's just, you know, kind of a personal preference. I know there are a lot of people who won't do that, and that's totally fine too. But it's not going to get in my way. Let's see. I'm scrolling down a little bit. Oh, Lily says she's going to send me some ideas about restaurants and all kinds of things in Madrid because she was there last December. and that she'd chat with me too. Oh my God, I'm starting to feel the pressure. It's like I'm going to have to really up my Spanish game here if I'm going to talk to these people. Oh, let's see. I'm scrolling down a little bit. Oh, Diane has a good question. She says, once you have a layout organized, do you stick it down? How do you stick it down? I know this is basic, but I've realized that I don't know how. I guess maybe, are you talking about the order that I adhere things to the layout? This is going to shock no one, I'm sure, but I'm not somebody who plans out every little thing and then waits until the end to adhere everything to the page, because I don't know, that just doesn't seem fun to me. So I generally decide where I'm going to put my pattern paper, and I decide where I'm going to put my photo, and I adhere those things down first. And then I work out from the photo, if that makes sense. So like if my photo is going to have embellishments clustered around it, I would do that embellishment cluster first. And then if I'm going to have, then I might do the journaling next. And then I always do the title last, which I know makes Tracy crazy. But for me, the title, I don't know, it just makes sense to do it last. But I always, when I would write papers in school and that kind of thing, I always did the introduction and the title of the papers last too. So maybe that's just how my brain works. I don't know. So yeah, I adhere in groupings, I guess. So I do pattern paper and photo first. Then I work in embellishment groupings, working out from the photo. And then I do the journaling. And then last, I do the title. I don't know, it'd be kind of interesting to hear how other people approach that. So yeah. All right. Lisa says she has special conditions today too, because she went with all the boys to an air show last weekend. So like this weekend is your reward, I'm thinking. And so you get to kind of decide how to plan your time. I think that that's fun. Oh gosh, Carol, I like this. She wanted to know if I could do my favorite Midori Traveler's Notebook supplies post. It wouldn't even have to be a layout for that day's post, just about taking a few photos of the different things that I do. I could do that. That's a good idea. I hadn't ever really considered that. I guess because I don't really think of it as a separate project from my scrapbooking. It's just kind of all part of it together to me. But I'll do that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see. Oh, Susie wants to know, she wants a hint about what my challenge will be about later tonight. Well, it's to make a layout, and I actually have 2 challenges that go on the same layout. I bet you can guess one of them because I am known for something in particular. And yeah, I'm not going to give you a hint about the other part. So maybe that'll help you think about the challenge tonight. You know what's so funny is I was feeling really pressured about making the layout for tonight's challenge, and I was like, oh my God, I don't feel creative. I've had such a crazy week. The dogs have been sick. It's been so stressful, and I'm trying to wrangle everything for International Scrapbooking Day. And then I sat down Thursday evening and I started it, and I had like this little flash of inspiration. And then I videoed it and I took the photos of it Friday evening. And when it was over, I was like, dang, I like this. Look at me, I can scrapbook. And that is like the best feeling in the world when you have this little assignment or this goal and you don't think you're going to be able to do it, and you kind of doubt yourself, and then all of a sudden you look back at what you created and you're proud of it. So that was a really fun moment for me. So I hope you all like it too. I mean, I guess you could look at it and you could all hate it. Just don't tell me if you do. All right, let's see. Susan agrees with me. Samuel, I liked you. She says she does her title too, her title last too. Like she knows where it's going to go, but she likes to get everything else down first in her journaling, because maybe that would change what the title would be. I totally understand. We're like, soul sisters in that way. Judy, you are correct. The challenge tonight does have something to do with a selfie. So if you don't have a selfie of yourself, you need to take one today if you want to be part of my challenge anyway. So Dale says some flashes are good things. Not all of them. Y'all, can you tell I'm getting hot right here? I'm getting ready to have a hot flash, but that's okay because we only have like 1 minute left. I'll be able to get in my car and turn the air conditioning on. So let's see. Carol Ann said that she's making a page for her one little word album today with the printables. That is such a good idea. That her word for the year is create, and she's going to document her creativity for the day. That is a fabulous idea on how to use those printables. I like that a lot. Let's see. Oh, Mickey said that her daughter is so well trained that she came back from her church field trip and she'd taken photos and gotten her a postcard and said, I know you'd like this for Project Life. What a smart girl. I have to say I've trained my 24-year-old equally as well. She regularly sends me photos from her phone. She'll just message them to me randomly because she knows that I want to scrapbook them at some point, which is so funny. That is cool. Carol Chastain says she sometimes doesn't even use a title. You are such a renegade like me. There are too many rules in life. You don't need any rules in scrapbooking, right? Don't tell Tracy I said that. She might get mad at me. All right, let's see. It looks like we have reached the end of our chat session. I had so much fun talking to you guys. I know I didn't get to every single person's comment or question, and I'm sorry about that. I did as many as I could. Sometimes when you guys are all typing together, I'm like, I can't get to everything. But I loved getting to interact with you like this. If you enjoyed it, I would love for you to leave a message in the community or something to encourage other people to join us the next time that we have one, and to let me know like if it's worth it. I mean, it seems kind of crazy to me that y'all want to listen to me talk for an hour, but I am thrilled that you did. And I am headed now up to Western Kentucky University's campus to see my daughter's dance recital with her little kids that she teaches. So I will talk to you soon, and I hope the rest of your International Scrapbooking Day is awesome. See you later.